In figure skating, the margin of victory can be as narrow as the width of a blade. And becoming a national champion takes more than just physical talent. It takes unyielding focus, the kind that made 14-year-old Tara Lipinski the youngest ladies champion ever. It takes an uncompromising work ethic, an inner drive that has propelled Todd Eldredge to 4 national titles and into the company of America's greatest skaters. It takes perseverance. Kyoko Ina and Jason Dungeon always seem to be second best. Finally, they're pairs champions. It takes passion. Husband and wife Jared Swallow and Elizabeth Punselin have that passion and are 4-time national ice dance champions. Tonight, our national champions together. The Asheville Civic Center in Asheville, North Carolina, as USA Sports presents Champions on Ice. And hello, everyone. I'm Bill McAtee, along with 3-time U.S. National Ice Dance Champion Renee Roca. And Renee, it's good to be with you tonight. And I guess Champions on Ice is a fitting title because we have the reigning United States champions tonight in all 4 of the skating disciplines.
That's right. And it's such a rare occasion when we can see all of the champions here at the same place, at the same time for an evening's performance. We've got Todd Eldredge, 4-time men's champion, Kyoko Ina and Jason Dungeon scoring a huge upset to earn their first title. Liz Punselin and Jared Swallow, 4-time champions, and the newest skating sensation, 14-year-old Tara Lipinski.
Tara Lipinski came here a year ago as a 13-year-old, and people said, wow, this little girl can really skate. She returns tonight as the reigning United States ladies champion. That's just remarkable.
She's incredible, and she scored a huge upset over Michelle Kwan to earn her first title.
No judges. Is this the kind of an event that the skaters really like?
Absolutely. The skaters love this because the atmosphere is one of no pressure, no competition, no judges here analyzing everything. They're here to skate and perform for you.
Well, the 3rd member of our broadcast team is Stephanie Oakes. She'll be backstage with the skaters, so let's check in now with Stephanie.
Thanks, Bill and Renee. It should be exciting backstage tonight with some of the world's most talented skaters. With me now is Todd Eldredge. Todd, coming off Worlds and Nationals, will it be fun for you to skate tonight without the scores and judges?
Oh, definitely. You know, our competitive season's over with, and we can just go out there and do our triple jumps and do whatever we want and have a great time.
Great. We'll be watching tonight.
Thank you, Stephanie. And first on the ice, the 1995 U.S. Ladies Champion, Nicole Bobick.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1995 Ladies National Champion, Nicole Bobick.
And of course, it has been a very difficult several weeks for Nicole. Last week at the World Championships in Switzerland, Nicole's legendary skating coach, Carlo Fassi, died of a heart attack. Nicole did skate, but obviously under very trying circumstances.
Nicole is going to be skating to some selections from Invita. This is something Nicole is so terrific at, this upbeat music. She just takes charge of it.
So what happens now? Where am I going to? Don't ask anymore. Where do we go from here? This isn't where we intended to be. We had it all. You believed in me. I believed in you.
back by Nicole. She has such incredible positions, real artistry and feeling when she's skating.
Nicole was third at this year's Nationals, moving up 3 places after her short program.
Beautiful double axel right there.
You must love me. You must love me.
This is one of the moves. It's called a spiral. She's famous for. She has one of the best in the business.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nicole Bobek.
Nicole Bobek, the 1995 U.S. Ladies Champion. It's a pairs team whose achievements the Stiglers hope to emulate one day. The recently crowned national champions Kyoko Ina and Jason Dungeon.
Music is Kodo. It is choreographed by Leanne Miller.
The national pairs champions. Renee, you don't often see this, but Kyoko also skates as a single. She finished 11th in the ladies at nationals this year.
That's true. You know, Kyoko skates 2 disciplines, and that's a lot of training time on the ice. It takes a lot of hours of practice. She has to work on her singles as well as the pairs. You know, and she's successful really in both. It's a wonderful overhead lift.
Ina and Dungeon, the national pairs champions. On the ice now, Yves Shalom and Matthew Gates. They were the silver medalists at the U.S. Nationals in ice dancing.
Eve and Matt have a mambo free dance. This is their long program that they use for competition this year. And you're going to notice throughout, it's all Latin music, all interpreted that way. Really intricate, full of speed.
Eve is 15 and grew up in suburban Detroit. Matthew, 21. He was born in Hitchin, England. It's interesting when you watch any ice dancing these days, the influence of Torval and Dean.
Absolutely. You know, there's so much that goes into ice dancing. You have to have incredible footwork and be an absolute master of interpretation of the music. You know, we can't rely on jumps, huge lifts and spins, so, you know, you have to rely on other things. Audience appeal. And here comes the middle section of their program. A rumba. That was a perfect example of what we would call a dance lift. It's not allowed to be over the shoulders. There's some really nice deep edge work. Of this program is incredible. I mean, these are 4-minute programs. They're used for competition, but nevertheless, it requires a great deal of energy. It's almost like doing an aerobics class.
Shalom and Gates, the silver medalists at the U.S. Nationals in 1997.
96 at the U.S. Nationals, Tanya Kwiatkowski.
On the ice for 20 years, she's a 3-time national medalist and the 1996 U.S. silver medalist, Tanya Kwiatkowski.
And Renee, Tanya has struggled with, I guess, an ankle injury that she sustained trying to break in a new pair of skates.
You know, that's one of the toughest things any skater has to go through is breaking in those boots. And I'm telling you, when they're ill-fitting, they're too stiff, it can wreak havoc on your feet. wouldn't know that she's struggling with him, though. I mean, look at the energy.
Tanya's been coached for the last 17 years by the great Olympic champion, Carol Heiss-Jenkins. She recently took some time away from skating, I guess recently within the last few years. Graduated from college with a double major in psychology and communications at Baldwin College in Ohio.
Ladies and gentlemen, Todd. They've only been skating together for a year and a half, and at last year's Junior Olympics, they were the youngest competitors ever at the juvenile level, and they're going back in April. She's 9, he's 10. Ashley Thrillkill and Leo Unger.
Well, we're in for a real treat now. She is 9, he is 10. Ashley Thrallkill and Leo Unger.
And these two have such an adorable presence on the ice. They're an ice dance couple skating to It Had to Be You.
It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found someone could make me be true.
Well, these two are just off of the cutometer all the way.
You know, when I was 9, I was this sophisticated.
Thinking of you.
Getting ready for a lift here. Well done.
And you know they have to be nervous. I mean, they've never been in this kind of venue before.
Well, they are skating with all of the people they look up to. I mean, they are just so thrilled to be here on the same ice with everybody. They've been spending all their time getting autographs. They're in heaven.
Now, earlier today, Ashley was sitting on Nicole Bobick's lap as Nicole read the paper, and Leo was walking around doing card tricks for everyone.
That was wonderful.
This is a night that these two will just never forget. Ashley Thrallkill and Leo Unger.
Ashley Thrallkill and Leo Unger.
Karen Kadavi.
On the ice now, the former U.S. Open Ladies Champion from Erie, Pennsylvania, Karen Kadavi. The music is from Celine Dion. It's all coming back to me now.
There were nights when the wind was so cold. My body frozen brave. I just listened to it right outside the window. There were days when the sun was so cool.
That's a beautiful layback by Karen. She's used this program quite a bit in competition and had great success with it. It really goes over with the audience. They appreciate her artistry, her feeling, her power.
Just a tremendous blend of grace and athleticism.
It's true. She's one of my favorite skaters to watch.
It was so long ago, but it's all coming back to me. Touch me like this, kiss you like that. It was done with the wind, but it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me now. There were moments so cold and there were flashes so light. You were making back together and then always seemed right. You were not the winners later. You were falling on your lost just what we want to see all coming back to me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Karen Kadavy.
Kadavy.
On the ice now, the 1997 National Junior Pairs champions, brother and sister, Tiffany and Johnny Stiegler.
And look at the attitude on this girl. She's 13.
Well, this is one of those numbers that can't help but make you smile.
That's for sure. It's the Tina Turner, and they're out there just having a great time.
Tiffany is 13, Johnny 14. Both were born in Santa Monica, California. was nice.
They train in Lake Arrowhead. Peter Opegard choreographed this program for them. This is one great hair spin. That's a really difficult and interesting exit out of a death spiral in pairs. This is fabulous. This is one high energy program. Going into a final spin here. The audience is just going to go crazy. That was terrific.
Tiffany and Johnny Stigler.
Tiffany and Johnny Stigler.
Okay, now here we're going to take a look at the pair spin. Look at the flexibility and position on these two. That's incredibly difficult to do. And the exit.
Three-time European champion and the 1992 Olympic gold medalist, Victor Petrenko.
The Olympic gold medalist in Albertville, now on the ice, Victor Petrenko.
Is Tosca, and Victor says he really prefers to skate to music where he can portray a character. There's a lot of passion in this program. Classic technique and that tremendous jumping ability. You know, Victor, he's such an all-around skater. You get the whole package with him. He can jump, he can spin, he has emotion when he skates. The whole package is just right there. loves to work with Mina as well as Galina, his coach. The three of them work on putting these programs together. Triple toe loop. Dramatic performance for Victor.
Preparation of ice, Victor Petrenko.
Really wonderful. He's getting a standing ovation. Well earned.
Victor Petrenko.
Okay, here we're going to take a look at Victor's triple toe loop. Taps in, goes straight up, landing as solid as a rock. And now here's an entry into the double axel. Straight up and down again. His jumps are just so solid. Almost no effort.
And now let's go backstage to Stephanie Oakes, who's with Victor.
Victor, a very moving piece tonight. Wonderful routine. The crowd obviously loves you. Tell us if you still get nervous before you go out for a performance.
Well, definitely still get nervous because each performance for me, it's like a test. Each time I'm stepping on the ice in front of people, for me it's another test and I want to do as best as I can. So I definitely still get nervous.
There's a lot of young skaters here tonight, as well as champions like yourself. What do you tell the young skaters about their nerves when they're ready to go out there?
Well, I wish to say them, don't get nervous, but I still get nervous. So right. I think that's fine. Get nervous, but try to do your best and have fun.
Great, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. Hard to believe that Victor Petrenko still gets nervous. As on the ice, the reigning and four-time U.S. dance champions, Elizabeth Punsalon and Jared Swallow.
Now Liz and Jared are going to be doing their competitive free dance here as well. We saw Eve Shalom and Matthew Gates perform theirs, and you're going to see that this is actually quite similar. They are training partners of Matthew and Eve, and I think you can really see it reflected in all of their skating, that they do train together, they have the same coach.
These two were married in 1993. They trained at the Detroit Skating Club, although Jared was born in Burbank, California, and lives in Syracuse, New York.
Jared have said they've studied ballroom dancing quite extensively, and I think that really shows in their choice of music and their choice of movement. It really reflects the ballroom style.
Elizabeth Punchland and Sharon Slow.
Punchland and Swallow, the four-time U.S. dance champions. There's a look at our recently crowned national champions, 14-year-old Tara Lipinski and 25-year-old Todd Eldredge. Both train at the Detroit Skating Club, and despite the age difference, the two have developed a unique bond. Stephanie Oakes has more.
The Detroit Skating Club has much to be proud of these days as the home of the men's and ladies' U.S. national champions. Todd Eldredge, who at 25 years of age garnered his fourth national title.
Can you tell us what the difference was for you winning the first one versus winning the last one?
Well, I would say the difference really is winning the first one was totally unexpected. I was kind of the new kid, and you know, nobody expected me to be there and to even be winning it. So that differs a lot because I was expected to win this year in Nashville.
Expected first for 14-year-old Tara Lipinski makes her the youngest ever national champ.
After I won that night, I was still in a little shock, and it was so new and great. And afterwards, you know, the next couple days, I just realized what I did, and, you know, it was wonderful.
Do you look at Nagano as a chance to win the gold?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I look at the Olympics as being, you know, my ultimate goal, and obviously winning them would be a great thing. So, I'm really hoping that, you know, to make the team and to get there and you know, be healthy so that I have a chance.
I know what I want, and, you know, I can't let go of it because it's always there. You know, every morning I get up, I know my main goal is for next year to make the Olympic team, so I know that I have to work and train hard.
In addition to their coach, their national titles, and their Olympic dreams, these two share a special friendship.
Tara and I get along really well. You know, we're both really hard workers. We both want the same thing, and we want that Olympic gold medal. So I think we really respect what each other does on the ice. And I think, you know, with training with her every day, you know, I've gotten to know her a little bit better and know how she works a little bit.
2 years ago, I was always so shy to say hello to him because he was, you know, this great skater, and he never knew me. And now that I train with him, you know, I get to talk to him, and it's great, you know, to be his friend.
We get a chance to kind of goof around when, you know, we're not training, but you know, and I think that's good. You know, I think it's great to have somebody in the rink that is at your level.
He always teases me, but yeah, he's great. I think the thing that I admire most about Todd is the way he can come back after a competition and work so hard and be so focused and keep training.
'Cause I feel so high, I'm reaching.
What kind of advice would you give to Tara since she's won her first national title?
I would say that the biggest thing that I would tell her is really, you know, enjoy it now, and you know, don't get caught up in it. You know, you really just have a good time and don't worry about it. I mean, she's so young, she's got so much time left in her career that you know, she's going to have so many more things happen to her, and really enjoy it now. And if something else comes along that happens, great. You know, that'll be great.
He got hockey skates at the age of 5. Within 2 weeks, he was asking for figure skates because he wanted to jump and spin. And he's been doing it ever since.
Amazing. You know, Todd has such a presence on the ice. He's really come into his own. He's a master of jumping, spinning. I mean, he's just really well-rounded.
The interesting thing about Todd when you meet him is that he's really shy. He's not a very outgoing person, but he certainly can express himself on the ice.
Got a little change of pace going here with some footwork. Really intricate. Look at the tightness of the feet, the turns.
Eldredge.
Skating on the wild side, Todd Eldredge.
Wow.
That was one solid performance.
As Todd was skating, this was the scene backstage. Tara Lipinski looking through a curtain to watch her fellow national champion. And now, out on the ice, here is the reigning world and national ladies champion, Tara Lipinski.
The 1997 national champion, Tara Lipinski.
Well, last month she became the youngest U.S. ladies champion in history. 14 years old, Tara Lipinski.
Her music is from the soundtrack of Little Women, and this is her short program from her competition. It'll be full of those required elements, but really, you know, she's skating this to enjoy her performance here. No worry about competing.
Enough pressure on those little shoulders.
Oh, that's for sure.
She handles it all with remarkable poise.
a jumping machine. They're clean, they're upright, they're landed so solidly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lipinski.
Well, the music was from Little Women, and she has become a little woman almost before our eyes on the ice. She's now 14. As we go to commercial, another look at the phenomenal Tara Lipinski.
Former world men's professional champion, Scott Williams.
Scott Williams.
And Renee, Scott is a good example of a skater who really, as a professional, has absolutely blossomed.
He has really come into his own, and this happens to be one of my favorite numbers. He's totally into this. I think the audience is going to have a great time with this.
This is a man.
The music from James Brown. It's a man's world.
But it will be nothing. Nothing.
That was an incredible triple toe loop jump. And this is what I love about Scott. That long hair, his interpretation of this music, he's unique.
Like my Bible said, Noah made the ark. That's the man. But it will be nothing. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. Man makes them happy because man make them toys. But after man make everything he can, man make dollars, cents, and yen, mark, francs, and shillings and pounds. From every good woman and every man, this is man's world. But it will be nothing.
Take a look at these turns. This is what he's really famous for. Nobody does him better than that. And a push-up at the end of the program.
Williams.
Scott Williams.
filled by his friend Oksana Bayul, who did skate here a year ago. But Oksana has been beset by injuries and off-ice problems. The most publicized, her arrest for driving under the influence following an automobile accident in January. Now she's training again on the comeback path and expects to tour starting in mid-April. Last week, Oksana was in New York, sounding upbeat, sporting a new hairstyle, and she spoke to us on a variety of topics.
The toughest judge, I would say so for me, is the public, you know? But I realize in my head, they do loves me a lot. I was really afraid what is gonna happen, but then I realized and they told me, Oksana, you're a human being. You've made a mistake and right now you have to go on with your life. The best gift, oh my God, I've had it. One guy, he sent me a big box and he told me he sent me a car, right? And he brought a letter and he said, Oksana, you know, you can replace that car always. He sent me a small little toy car for the kids. You can always replace that car, but I don't think so you can replace that life. And I was I started thinking. You know, I don't know, because I'm not reading stuff about myself. I'm not watching myself. I'm not watching myself on TV. I'm not watching skating on TV. Because first of all, it was making me being upset, and I was really want to go back on the ice, and I know I couldn't. That's why I stopped reading stuff about me when they were saying stuff about my mother and my grandmother, and my coach left me and I was sleeping somewhere on the ground. No, it was not true, but they were writing that, you know, to make it more tragic, I guess. I was thinking when I was skating before, I was thinking that's okay, if I will quit ice skating, I can skate and I can do anything what I like. And then I didn't skate for 3 months and I understand I'm dying without ice. It's like I've got that medal when I was 16 years old, and it's like a step, I guess, in my life, you know, God gave me that. And I work hard for it and I have that medal, but right now I'm not done. I want to do something else in my life. Of course it's amazing, of course it's an unbelievable feeling, but it's like a step. I'm so proud of that. I'm really proud. But to say I'm done, I don't want to do anything else, no. For me, it's not important I'm skating good or I'm skating bad. At least as I'm skating, that's it. That's what I need in my life. I don't want to win anything. I don't want to lose anything. I just want to skate. I just want to go up there and skate. It's amazing because when the first day I stepped on it on the ice after the really long break from my skating, I couldn't stop laughing. I fell only 25,000 times, but it doesn't matter for me. I'm falling down or I'm not. I love to skate. That's what I love to do.
Later, but first, here is the 1995 U.S. National Ladies Champion, Nicole Boban.
The music is familiar.
Oh, I think we all know this one. Probably half the audience can dance to this right alongside with her.
Macarena.
You know, one of the great things about Nicole is that she's so spontaneous. She can just get the audience right in the palm of her hand whenever she wants to. This girl's got charisma. Wow, look at an ending there. Woo.
Nicole Bobick.
Well, there she is, Nicole Bobick.
Okay, here we see Nicole sit spin. Gonna change into a back sit spin. Look at the flexibility. And here's a really unique position. Don't see that very often.
Tonya Kwiatkowski.
3 times she's won a medal at the U.S. Nationals on the ice for her second program. Tonya Kwiatkowski.
Tonya really has such a great sense of line, and this is such a nice piece of music for her to use. Misty Blue, it's kind of a departure for her. She's not really used to skating to these nice slow ballads, and I really kind of like it on her.
What you may not be aware of is that these skaters are on small ice tonight, and they are constantly making adjustments in their routines.
It's been such a long, long time. Looks like I get you off of my mind, but I can't. Just the thought of you.
Well, it's true. I think it's, you know, when you're used to skating on a full-size ice and then you're cut down to almost half of what you normally train on, you almost have to hold back on your speed. It affects the pattern of your program. It's really difficult to deal with on top of the spotlights, you know. So these skaters are out here, they're really making adjustments from what they're used to every day.
The silver medalist at the 1996 U.S. Nationals, Tanya Kwiatkowski.
And Jason Dungin.
On the ice, once again here in Asheville, the national pairs champions, Kyoko Ina and Jason Dungin.
This music is going to be a duet of I Will Always Love You, and I so enjoy seeing a couple skating to a duet like this.
I will be your way, so
That was a beautiful split triple twist, a really difficult element in pair skating, executed perfectly.
Second in the Nationals the last 2 years. Tamino and Sam, they have worked very hard to get to this point in their careers.
That is all I am taking with
We mentioned Kyoko is one of the outstanding singles lady skaters in America. Jason won the U.S. Junior Pairs title and finished second in the world skating with his sister, Susan. So they have excelled apart and have put it together skating as a pair.
And I only have all you dream of. I wish you joy, but all this I wish you love.
And that is why they are our new national champions. Kyoko Ina and Jason Dungeon.
Ina and Dungeon, the current national pairs champions.
Okay, here's a look again at that split triple twist. Notice the tap, the split, the tight position in the air. That was really beautifully done. And here we have an overhead lift. It goes up. Notice Kyoko's position, one-handed, back to two hands, and a twist out.
Victor Pacheco.
And once again, the Olympic gold medalist from Albertville in 1992, a little something different from Victor Petrenko.
I think the ladies in this audience are really going to appreciate this number. They're already clapping their hands and stomping their feet. To see Victor doing this kind of thing after seeing that classical Tosca number. Talk about versatile. He can pull off just about anything.
Well, you think of the regimented style of skaters from the former Soviet Union. How has Victor grown in terms of his showmanship since turning professional?
He has just grown by leaps and bounds. I mean, he's come to America. These audiences just adore him here. He's become, you know, just the ultimate showman.
You don't think he's having fun out there, do you?
No, not at all. It's got to be just a riot to put a number like this together. What fun.
He's not too sexy for Asheville. Victor Pacheco.
Victor Petrenko. On the ice, there is one half of the ice dance team of Jared Swallow and Elizabeth Punselin, the reigning and four-time U.S. dance champions.
You know, this is a number that they're really comfortable with. They did it all last year on tour, probably 70-some performances of it. And you can tell they're just having fun with this. It's a nice, subtle number, really enjoyable to watch. Looks like we've got a little bit of flirting going on there.
You told me to love someone, give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be.
Voice and horn of Louis Armstrong and the world-class style of Punchline and Swallow.
Here's our second look at Karen Kadavy.
Karen Kadavy.
The former U.S. Open Ladies Champion Karen Kadavy.
It's gonna
Georgia Davy. In this town of 68,000 in western North Carolina, there are a lot of skating fans, and they appreciate the effort tonight from Chen.
Welcome, the #1 ranked ladies skater in America, Lipinski.
On the ice now for her second routine, 14-year-old Tara Lipinski, the youngest U.S. ladies champion in history.
And this is a great little piece of music for her. It's Walkin' on Sunshine. It was choreographed by ice dancer Susie Wynn.
As we watch her, what are the elements that make her such a great competitor?
I think, you know, Tara really, she's got nerves of steel. She delivers the goods when the pressure's on, and, you know, that's something that can't be taught. That's coming from her own mental strength.
It's interesting to watch her jump. She doesn't get a lot of height, but boy, she gets some explosion as she's turning in the air.
She spins like a top. I've never seen rotation pulling as quick as Tara's. Look at that. I mean, that's 3 rotations. It happens in like a second and a half.
Lipinski.
Todd Eldredge.
Well, his 4 U.S. championships puts Todd Eldredge in select company with guys like Scott Hamilton and Brian Boitano. But Todd won his over an 8-year span, and that is a fairly remarkable accomplishment.
This is the moment, this is the day, this is the moment when I know I'm on my way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play. It's here and now today. This is the time when the momentum and the moment are in line. Give me this moment, this momentous moment. I'll gather up my past, make some sense at last.
triple jumps is just so amazing. They look so effortless. He has great speed across the ice. And this is actually such an appropriate piece of music for him to be skating to. He's had really a terrific year.
Just see it shine. When all I live for becomes
Todd. Notice how many positions he hits, and the momentum keeps getting faster and faster actually as it continues.
Man who won national titles at all three levels, novice, junior, and senior. Now one of the greatest in the world, Todd Eldredge.
And the crowd is on its feet. That was really, it's a well-deserved standing ovation.